Good morning. Welcome. It's a beautiful day, as you can tell, and we are going to be working on our woodshed today. Pretty excited about it. We've needed one for a while, and we had I had built just a simple, easy kind of wood holder, not even a wood shed. It was just like a wood stand, and it worked fine for winter. It held the wood fine, and we just covered it with a tarp to keep it dry. The tarp got destroyed with the wind and the weather, so wanted a more permanent structure. So we're gonna be working on that. Found the plans off of epa.gov. Really simple design. It's pretty cool, and it had the cut list, and it had the blueprints, the drawings, and it had the materials list. So that was great. We went and got a bunch of wood at the secondhand store, which is just a great place. We got concrete blocks there. We got the most of the wood, if not all of the wood. I think most of the wood. And then we went to Lowe's and got the roofing material. So I think we've got everything now, and we're about to get started on that. So here is the wood holder that I built. It works fine. Just a stand, and but I think we're ready for something more permanent. And then this is the wood we got at the secondhand store. You've got some 2x4s, some 4x4s, some 2x6s, and then I pulled out some of the wood that I had in our basement, just leftover wood. So we're gonna use that, which is awesome. So this is the foundation we put in. It's just different blocks, different piers, concrete piers, and it took forever. Yeah, so I think we've got everything, all the materials, and we're ready to get started. So we're going to get going.
Where's that from?
Square. So we've got most of the posts. We've got 5 of the 6 posts cut. I'm going to leave the last one for a bit because we bought a giant cedar post because they didn't have any more of the 4x4, so we think we got a 6x6 cedar post, kind of expensive. And then I realized I had 2x4s in our basement that I'm going to try to use for the back, one of the back posts, and just double them up, and hopefully that'll work, and then we can save the nice piece of wood for something else. So you can see we got 2 different kinds, well, multiple different kinds of wood. We have some that are pressure treated like this, which ideally you'd want to use for something that's outdoors, but it's just a woodshed, so I didn't really care too much, especially because we were getting all the wood secondhand. So we got as much of the pressure treated as we can, or as we could. So we got a few of those, and then the others are cedar posts, which should, provide some rot resistant. You can see secondhand there's some termite damage, but again, it's a woodshed. It's not really structural, just has to hold some wood up and keep it dry, so not too worried about that. These are some more cedar posts. We have another pressure treated post there, and then a lot of our other wood is not pressure treated. It might be cedar, it might be something else. I'm not too terribly sure. Our 2x6s and then our 2x4s. Again, we got them used. I'm not too terribly concerned if they're, not weather resistant, pressure treated, just because, like I said, maybe this is the 5th time. It's a woodshed. Don't really care all that much. And then this is that giant piece of nice cedar that we got. It's a 6 foot plus length of 6x6. It looks like cedar. So if we can not use that, that would be great. We can use that for something else. So we're gonna work on the front, getting the front. We have to attach these 2x6 band boards across the base of the 3 front posts, and we will try to get that up, and then we'll come back to the question of that beam or not. Coffee is life.
No coffee, no worky.
No coffee, no worky.
I like your cutoffs.
Yeah.
I think you ripped them the last time we were working on this project.
I did. They were pants.
Not no more.
The knees.
They are not pants anymore.
They are some awesome
Cutoffs.
shorts. They look like jean shorts. They are not jeans.
It's true.
Thank you. Cutting it an inch long for this because it doesn't really matter, just to make sure it's looks good. Well, I fucked up. Didn't look at the plans too carefully, or too closely. And I saw that the band boards were 8 feet long, so I cut them 8 feet long. I actually cut them an inch longer, so 8 feet 1 inch long. But when we were placing the piers, I didn't realize that they weren't at the edges at 8 feet. And so you can see, so we need the band board to connecting the 3 posts, because the band board's what's going to hold up the floor. So the idea is we're going to put two bolts through on each post, and so you want it to be even, with at least even, if not beyond. So that post is centered on that block, and then the problem is you come down here at 8 feet, and if you center this one up on the band board, it's not center on the block. So when we were laying the blocks, we put the centers 8 feet out, and it should have been the edges 8 feet, in the posts within in the center of that. So we're going to end up having to move 2 blocks, probably like 2 inches inwards, in order to give us the right space, because unfortunately I cut those band boards. I cut them 1 inch longer, and I should have laid out the posts first and then double check the measurements. So that's my fuck up. But it is what it is. So we'll get to moving the pier, the little blocks again. So the plans call for lag bolts for the bands into the posts, but that's kind of an older thing now. They have structural screws, so that's what we went ahead and got. You can see it's a structural screw, so it's a lot easier to drive than a lag bolt. There's no pre-drilling through the thing to create a hole large enough for the lag bolt. There's no bolt on the other side, so you can just drive this with a hex nut, and it's a lot easier to use. So that's what we went ahead and got. So we're going to use those. I think they're a little more expensive. Lag bolts are super cheap. That's one of the advantages, but these are great for structural needs. It's a newer thing that I found out about just recently. I think they've been around for a lot longer than that, but not being a pro. So that's what we're going to use to attach these band boards onto the posts. Problem is I don't have an impact driver, which is what you really need. Well, 2 options. I can go charge it and see if that'll work, or I can go get an impact driver. Neighbor to the rescue. Asked our neighbor for an impact driver. He had one. We really need to get one, but this will save us for today, and we can finish driving in these structural screws. So I think it says to use like 3-inch screws. And these are just exterior rated 3-inch screws. But these are 3.5. I have, because I had them left over. So we're gonna use them and see if they'll work and if we have enough, and that way we don't have to buy additional screws. Woo!
Okay, so after a few minor adjustments, as I think Marcus covered, involving the cement blocks again, we now have our frame. Got our wood posts on the 4 corners. See, Marcus is here doing his extra measurements because he's made a few cutting mistakes recently. Yeah, it's looking pretty good. A couple of the boards were a little bit warped, but we used the level, made sure that everything is level and even. And then what are we doing after this, Marcus? Setting the floor?
Well, we need to... No, I want to straighten these. Make sure these posts are straight. So, probably the side slats.
Okay.
And that'll hold these straight.
The side slats on top.
And I think we flipped up.
Oh.
Again.
In case anyone hadn't realized, we are not professionals. We are not experts. Should not do what we do.
No.
I mean,
should not.
this is our site supervisor. Sleeping on the job. How'd we fuck up?
This side is shorter than that. So the two front and back are not parallel right now. So
What if we just said that that's how we intended for it to be?
no.
It's modern art.
No.
It's abstract.
No.
It's an M&M original.
No.
All right. Well, I tried.
How did we do? Whoa! These are not straight at all, babe.
2 of the boards are warped. There's some warping. So, we have disassembled. Woo!